In the animal kingdom, gorillas often greet each other with a hug. Certain species of penguins propose to their partner with a pebble. Female lions do all the hunting for their family. Orcas live with their parents their whole lives. While every family is different and every family is unique, the truth is, they're still our fam.
Hey, and welcome to Milestones Middle School Digital Shorts. I'm Chris, and if you're wondering what I was just laughing at while looking at my phone, and even if you weren't wondering, well, I'm gonna tell you anyways. I was actually looking at one of the group chats of my boys back in the States. You know, these guys, they live in Massachusetts and California, Virginia, and well, I'm here in Canada. And this group chat is actually filled with laughs, sports, news, life celebrations, advice, and realness. And we're all there for each other, and they are a part of my life. And even though we live in different countries, this group chat represents a bit of home for me. And the most important thing in my home, well, is my family. How many of you have a best friend who knows all about your secrets? Somebody you spend all your free time with, somebody that borrows all your clothes or plays all your video games before you do, somebody that sees your family fighting sometimes, somebody that eats all the food from your house, somebody that you can call and reach out to when you're in trouble or feeling down. You know, a friend like that, sometimes they feel more like family, right? For the last few weeks, we've been in this series about family called Fam. And each week, we've spent time talking about different things about our families that impact our lives, for better or for worse. And while family is a really important thing to talk about, I know for some of you, this whole series may feel a little off. You've been here the last few weeks, and all you've thought about is the fact that your family situation is different. For some of you, this is because you feel like you don't have the kind of family everyone else has. Maybe you only have one parent in your life, or maybe you're adopted. And even though that's awesome, you feel like it makes your family, well, different. For others, you're struggling because the family you have isn't the family that you want. You wish your mom didn't work all the time and that she spent more time with you. Or you wish your dad would care a little more about what's going on in your life. Maybe you wish your older siblings weren't so mean. Or maybe that you actually had siblings to begin with. Maybe your family is dealing with secrets about people in your family that they don't want anyone to know about. Things like addiction or abuse or separation. And when you see families in your neighborhood or go to your friends' houses, all you can think is, man, I wish my family was more like them. I kinda even wish they were my family. Or maybe you struggle to talk about family because, well, you don't have one. Sure, you came from a family of some kind, but whatever reason, you're not with them anymore. Maybe your parents passed away when you were younger, or maybe they got into trouble and they can't take care of you anymore. Or maybe you've never met them at all. You've been in someone else's care for as long as you can remember. And because of any of those reasons, you live with an aunt, an uncle, or grandparents, or neighbors, foster parents, or friends. And even though you may have adults in your life who care about you, you still struggle because you know they aren't the fam you came from. They aren't the fam you thought you'd have. The kind everybody else seems to have. The truth is, talking about family can be hard because for so many of us, family doesn't look the way we thought it would look. We think other families are so perfect and so much better or have it all together. But for whatever reason, that's not the kind of family that we got. And honestly, that can make us feel completely and totally alone. And if you're feeling that way about your family situation right now, I just want to stop and encourage you with this. You're not the only one. In fact, that's a feeling a lot of us felt about our families, not just today, but even thousands of years ago. In the Bible, there's actually a story about two guys who were dealing with complicated family situations that I think can help us here. These two guys were named David and Jonathan, and neither of them had typical home lives. David didn't live with his family. He left them when he was called to work for Saul, who was the king of Israel. And well, who was Saul outside of the king? Well, he was actually Jonathan's dad. As they lived and worked together, Jonathan and David became close friends. Now, at first, this was no big deal because Saul, Jonathan's dad, loved David. But over time, things changed. As King Saul wanted to be seen as the greatest, most powerful, most beloved leader in Israel, David's popularity actually started to grow. And to make matters worse, God actually appointed David to be the next king, a plan Saul didn't love. And as a result, Saul began to actually hate David. And I mean really hate him. So much that Saul plotted to kill David. Yeah, to save himself. David had to flee and go into hiding, narrowly avoiding being murdered by Saul a few times. You see what I mean? Both Jonathan and David were in different family situations they didn't necessarily want or expect. David lived apart from his family, and Jonathan was dealing with a dad who was actually trying to murder his best friend. Pretty messed up, right? That might be enough to leave both guys feeling completely and totally alone. But you know what? Because they had each other, they didn't. These two guys formed a friendship that was more like a brotherhood. They were the kinds of friends who helped each other out, stuck with each other with no matter what, and protected each other. The kind of friends who, became like fam. The Bible actually describes their friendship like this. And Jonathan made a solemn pact with David because he loved him as he loved himself. I love this story of Jonathan and David for a lot of reasons. But the main one is because I think it shows us this. Sometimes friends are more like family. Like we said, not all families look the same, and sometimes, like for Jonathan and David, you find yourself in a situation where other people in your life feel more like family than the people who actually are related to you. Your friends, their parents, a coach, a teacher, our middle school ministry leaders, or even our friends from this group, sometimes God puts people in our lives to act like family. Maybe you don't realize this, but that's even part of what we do each week here at church. We act as a family of God. We support and encourage each other because that's what God calls us to do. He created us to do life with each other, like a family. When he was on earth, Jesus had friends who became like family. His disciples, the men who were his closest friends and followers, became the people who did everything with. They were as close as family as believers. They became part of the family of God. And it's the same thing God offers us. Whether this is the first time you've ever been here or you attend every single week, I want you to know that you have family here. At Milestone, you have people who will support, love, and encourage you. Maybe your family at home is awesome. Or maybe your family doesn't look like the way you hope it would. Maybe you have no family at all. No matter what your situation is, you have this family, the family of God, to walk with you through this life. Maybe you're sitting here thinking, yes, totally. I know exactly who the people in my life are that love and treat me like family. I know who makes up my fam outside of my family. If that's you, great. One of the best things that you can do this week is let that person know or people know that you appreciate them. Shoot them a text, write them a note, give them a shout out online, thank them for making you feel like fam, and let them know that you want to do the same for them. You want them, or you want to be their fam too. Or maybe you're sitting here thinking, yeah, that sounds great. And I wish I had those people in my life, but honestly, I don't feel like I know who they are or where I'd find them. And if that's you, then I'd say this: bring more people into your circle. Think bigger than just the people you're close to right now. Think about who else is speaking into your life. Someone older than you or close to you who you can trust. Maybe it's a teacher, a coach, a friend's parent. Maybe there are a few people here at Milestone who you know you can lean on and trust to be your fam. Identify at least one person who you could be like family and include them in more parts of your life. Spend time with them. Ask them to hang out. Open up to them about what's going on in your life. And I promise you that it's worth it, because bringing more people into your life will actually expand your family. And sometimes friends are more like family. One of the best parts about following Jesus is that we gain a family. The church and your group of friends become like a second home, a place where we can be safe, we can be heard, be known, and be loved. And that's how God designed it to be. He knew that life wouldn't always be easy, that we would need each other, that we need a fam here within these four walls. Our hope is that you find Milestone to be that for you, a place where you can belong and be loved, a place where you find your fam. Because sometimes friends are more like family. Now, as we head into our discussion groups, or if you're watching this at a later time, I actually want you to think about this question. Who is a friend in your life that could be part of your fam? Much love, and see you next time, fam.